unemployment problem may further be entering a dire situation. The latest report by CMIE, a private research firm in Mumbai, reveals that a growing number of people are no longer looking for jobs. More than half of the 900 million Indians of legal working age don't want a job. This is roughly the population of US and Russia combined. This comes as people remain frustrated at not being able to find the right kind of job, and the highlight of this remain the women. The women are the worst hit when we talk about India's job crisis. About 21 million women have quit the workforce. This means only 9% of the eligible women population is employed or is looking for work. All right, this is the latest as far as the job data is concerned, and concerning figures coming in as far as India's job crisis is concerned. I'm joined by MS Unnikrishnan on the broadcast. So thank you for making time and speaking to Mirror Now. You have decades of experience in the industry. How do you view these numbers? This is alarming. Millions of Indians who are already out of the workforce are not looking for a job because of frustration.
It is an indicator of how we have recovered from the coronavirus related issues in the industry and in the job market. We tend to believe that things have become normal. It may have become normal for the very large industries, organized sector. The entire unorganized sector and MSME is yet to be coming back to normalcy, and the majority of the job losses that had occurred during that point of time in numbers is in the MSME sector. If you were to look at the total size of the industry in India, of the number of people employed, approximately 90% of them are employed in MSME sector, and only 10% of the employment is directly attributable to the larger manufacturing or industrial sector. So the larger sector has already recovered almost not to normalcy. However, the MSME is yet to be coming to normalcy. So that is one of the reasons that I would say. Second is, we have not come to the public transport system coming to normalcy. We have not had the travel restrictions totally removed, though the central government has told you can remove it. It is yet to be coming to the level that it used to be existing. So I won't be surprised about the 21 million numbers that is reported in CMIE report. It may be a true number or maybe inaccurate to some certain percentage. Otherwise, I would say it may be fairly accurate. And we should also recognize for a fact that we have had a degrowth of almost double-digit percentage of the GDP. One of the worst hit countries in the world was India in terms of GDP growth. That means the entire income of the country has come down. So where is the job available for that? So we will take a year more to recover to that particular level. That is my first answer. So I'm not surprised about it. Jobs have not disappeared. They are not reappeared is what I would say that. It'll reappear. As the economy picks up, it'll reappear. But the question about women being the main sufferers, 101% true. I fully agree with you. Those were the kind of job that the majority of the women enjoyed in the industry was not of the nature that is available to the men. That's the worst part of India's economy. We need to be improving a lot on that. And those jobs are yet to be re-established by the industries. And that will also take time for it to be recovering.
Glad you picked up that point, sir, that women are the worst hit and they are exiting the labor force. But another question, and it's a very important question, and I want to understand your position on this. A lot depends on the state government and the central government when it comes to job creation, right? How do you assess the government's performance, whether it's the states or the center? Because we understand that for the longest time, the governments have cited COVID and pandemic and other factors for not creating enough jobs. But who is to be blamed when we're talking about this data that millions of Indians are frustrated and they don't want jobs anymore?
That second statement, Archana, may not be right. Not that they don't wanting the job. They are wanting jobs.
This is the CMI data research that I'm citing.
Yeah, I'm only telling you about that. Yeah, if I were to comment on the government's performance in the last 2 years, I will not want to judge them at all on account of the fact that they can take umbrage under the fact that They were managing the pandemic, which we have done a good job. Managing the economy when many other economies across the globe have not been able to recover. We are recovering, and I think we are on a recovery path. So I give concession for it. What should the government do right now is what we need to be thinking about, in my opinion, because there is a crisis related to job creation, and there is a role to be played equally by the central government and the state governments. And nobody can say that it is not our responsibility, it's only the responsibility of either the center or the state. That is not valid. Both have to work together. First and foremost, jobs can be indirectly only created by the government other than the government jobs. Government cannot employ the kind of manpower that India is creating. They can only create an ecosystem and policies which will be increasing the job market. So what will increase the job market? Investments are the ones that will be bringing in more jobs. In that, government has got to lead in the investments, which they could do in the last 2 years. I agree with that. Their focus is totally on a different area. Having recovered, having seen all-time high GST collection, government has got to be announcing and ensuring that the projects are taking shape in every possible sector. And they have to also ensure that private industry is given enough and more policy support to invest. And mind you, in any case, unless there is a purchasing power capability, which means surplus money in the hand of the consumer, there will be a consumption, which means you're going to ensure inflation is controlled and there is more money available with additional purchasing power in the hands of the consumer. These two are the items that the policy decision which the government has got to take. And I'm very happy that they spoke about a 20 lakh crore worth of investment, $100 billion worth of infrastructure creation. All this are already spoken. At the minute level, at the granular level, have we worked out each of the projects? Have we announced them? Have we got partners for it? Have we acquired the land? Have we given contracts to people? These are the things that detailing has got to be done, not policy announcement alone. So it depends a lot on the government's ability to be executing the announced project on time bound and making money available for it. And once that starts on, and if you keep the inflation under control, and possibly credit availability is another very, very important thing for the consumer, then only they'll start consuming. Beyond food, anything beyond the basic necessities of the consumption were to go up, of white goods, of maybe automobiles, two-wheelers, all the silk cloths. I mean, I'm talking about not bare clothes, I'm talking about a little more than that. These are the fundamental requirements where people will be spending money on FMCG items, they'll spend money on durables, they'll buy on automobiles, white goods equivalent of all of that, provided there is surplus money available. If money is not available, EMI should be easily available. That means bank should have a credit line available for it. So these are the factors where the policy are to be taken care by the government. Are they doing enough? I don't want to pass a judgment that it is insufficient. Also, we need to do a lot more. Let me say very openly that way. We need to be increasing the consumption a lot more. And to give confidence to the investor that don't worry, invest today, tomorrow there will be a demand in the market available. That positive level should be prevailing. And temporarily, I would also say that because of the current, the war situation, not really exploding beyond a level, that also has got some amount of psychological impact temporarily on the investment. But the government should be going ahead with the investment part and support the private industry to do that. Also create a system or ecosystem to support them to be investing and give them courage and support to say that come forward. So these are the things the government need to be doing right now. Otherwise, I think India is doing quite okay, but we need to do a lot more because the demand is so high. Just imagine 1.5 million engineers coming out of engineering colleges. Where are the jobs for them? So we need to have a lot more of capacity creation done. I really appreciate the PLI scheme they brought in to ensure that a lot more investment will come from Indian companies and MNCs to create additional capacities in areas that we never attempted to do, like in API in drugs and pharma, electronics items, solar, energy, renewable. A lot of areas government has announced PLI, which is a very positive scheme, but we should not be stopping at them alone. We need to create internal manufacturing capacity and allied ecosystem so that a lot more jobs can be getting created in the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Unnikrishnan, for those valuable solutions that you have given on this broadcast and making time and speaking on this pressing issue that deserves immediate attention. We're talking about the labor force, we're talking about the women of this country and the big impending job crisis that deserves attention. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to Mirror Now.